So, yeah, this is where we're at. I don't know where to start because initially, like, a lot is going on, okay? Like, first of all, the name of this podcast has changed. If you somehow managed to be part of the 6 views on YouTube and saw the first thing I posted there was a different name, it was a different vibe, it was video, it was really giving that girl, like, I was so excited because I haven't done this in a long time, but now it's like with video, and that makes me a little anxious, a little angsty. But we move because this is what I wanted to do, and there is no choice but to keep doing it. So here we go. First things first, you're going to hear this podcast featuring sounds of Harare. So you're gonna hear the birds. You're gonna hear that I'm going to do China. You're gonna hear my brother moving up and down. You're gonna hear the car starting very soon. You're gonna hear the gate being opened. You're gonna hear 1,000 things. But you know what? I'm not even going to be shy or embarrassed about those things because you know what? It's part of how I'm living. Sounds of Harare. So if you're not in Harare and you're listening to this, or you're not even in Zim, you're gonna remember this sound and think about home. Hopefully, you think about home. So, life update. Your girl graduated. First of all, if you do not know who I am, considering that this is an entirely different podcast than the one I had initially, I'm Tiny-Winnet, Chitsende. I am, how old am I? I am 24. God, I'm old. Like, just yesterday, I was 21, and I had my very first podcast. It was initially called the Tiny-Winnet Podcast, and it was renamed to Tiny Talks Podcast. I do this all the time. I have a podcast, and I have a podcast name, and I'm like, last minute, no, I don't like it. Let's rebrand in the middle of it all. So that sucked. But yeah, welcome to the podcast. This podcast is actually called A Not So Cute Podcast. Why I called it A Not So Cute Podcast, you are going to understand as we move into the episode why I called it A Not So Cute Podcast, and you're going to realize, okay, yeah, she's got a point. I ramble a lot. Like, I ramble on and on. Oh. What? Oh. No, my brother is taking my car, so I'm a little concerned. Because it's dirty inside. Yeah, but you're gonna hear a car starting in about T-minus 20 seconds. That's okay, right? We love cars that randomly start. Yeah. Yep, that's my baby. Okay. You hear that? That's a brilliant car over there. If you can't hear this, then you're blessed. Probably the people on YouTube, you're gonna hear this. Oh, and another thing, just FYI, I live close to the airport. So you hear that? The plane over. So you're gonna get that a lot around this time. When it's a Sunday, I don't like the way he's moving my car. Like, my car is really like sensitive, and he's just like sorry, I am so sorry. I wish I could edit this out, but like, I won't. Sorry. Anyways, T-minus 20 seconds, him opening the gate. Now I'm so invested in what he's doing instead of focusing on what I'm supposed to be doing. But I'm really excited to be back. I had a podcast, it was called the Tiny Talks Podcast. I think I already mentioned this. And it was a great podcast. Like, it wasn't like the world's most amazing podcast, but it was a podcast and it was mine. And it was so good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, there was a day I actually listened to a couple of episodes. I was like, okay, I'm not that bad. Like, I'm actually really good at this, I think. But anyways, I digress. And then I stopped that for a while. I had started the podcast during COVID, and then was it during COVID or after? I think it was after. I don't remember. But then I started college, and then I thought that I could do it all, be like a college student and having a podcast. And I was also like taking like modeling lessons, etc., etc. It's safe to say that I was not successful. I failed a module that semester. It was my very first semester. I failed one module, and I kind of attributed doing too many stuff to me failing. So I decided to quit the podcast, and then I came back. So I'd come back, go away, come back, go away, and eventually I just stopped. I couldn't even remember the password for me to be able to like record on my phone. I was recording on my phone on Anchor. And like fast forward to today, I was like all this time since 2021, I was like, I need to get back to my roots. Like, because podcasting is so fun to me. Like, my friends create content on TikTok, and I say good for them. They're really good at it. I am not. I am not good at creating short form content. I don't even think the long form content I'm that brilliant. But hey, I'm good at talking. I'm a yapper. And I figured I can yap. So I'm a be a yapper. I'm just lean into myself and yap. So today I was like, you know what? Life events have led me to come back to this space where I podcast, because it was sort of like a journaling session for me, not just talking. Of course, I did talk about things that were serious, like I talked about relationships. I had conversations with other people on the podcast. Shout out to all the people I had on the previous podcast. Y'all are amazing. Lindsay, Titch, Bongai. Who else did I have on the podcast? Like, y'all are so amazing. Thank you so much for coming in. Like, considering that I'm not a big name, it was so nice to hear and have people and, you know, talk to people. And then there was an era where I would have like Instagram lives on Fridays and talk to people. I remember that era. It just came back to me, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, I did have that era. Oh my god. And yeah, that was cute actually, because I really enjoyed that era. Although I didn't have many views, I participated. It feels so good to know that I did that, because I actually thought that me and Instagram are just never gonna be friends. But apparently we can be. So watch this space. Okay, I think that's enough rambling and enough. Okay, it's not a backstory, because I haven't gotten to the reason why I then rebranded. So initially this podcast was going to be called Chatted Podcast. I feel like if you're on YouTube, you can go on YouTube, you can go on to the first video and actually see what I'm talking about. It was a little clip. It was an 8-minute clip where I was talking about basically living a charted life. Like, what's the point in you struggling when other people have gone through what you've gone through and you can just copy and paste, right? So that's what I was talking about, just the importance of listening to other people's stories, listening to their journeys, and understanding other people's perspectives, etc., etc. Like, so that was the first episode, and I was not 100%. I will be fair. I will be honest. I was not myself. I really felt like I was putting on a front, because I just genuinely wanted to have something out. Like, I had gotten to a point where I was like, I need to get something out just to get the ball rolling, just to say hello to and create my little corner of the internet. And that's great and all, until I realized that I actually had another video up on YouTube, and it was something else entirely, and I don't remember the password of that account either. I just keep starting stuff and I never finish. We're gonna talk about that. Actually, we're gonna ramble on and we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. Alright? So this is segment 1. This is the intro, baby. So we're just gonna bear with me, okay? I know it's all over the place, but just bear with me, okay? Bear with me. So, okay, we've established that I'm a yapper and I will not stop talking and I will not get to the point fast enough. We've established that, and that's great because we're gonna have a lot of those moments where, sorry, I have to fix the mic. There we go. We're gonna have a lot of moments where I'm going to be rambling on, and sometimes it just doesn't make sense. So, quickly getting into that first episode that I recorded, it was it was it wasn't me. I felt like I was trying to have this design bay in mind. I had a whole vision for this podcast. Like I wanted to come back and I'll just come back and just do the same thing that I did before. I wanted it to be better. I wanted it to be like studio version, let's go type of thing. It's safe to say, Kuti, that's not what happened. It's safe to say that I'm here still doing the exact same thing that I did, but now it's like instead of recording the audio on my phone, I'm recording it on my laptop. And I'm with you. So it's different, but I'm also excited about it because Lord knows I've wanted to start this for the longest time. And it feels good to be back, to be fair, because I take my time with these things. I have this problem where I start stuff and then I never complete. But this time, what, baby? Like, I'm about to show y'all who I am. I don't know what that means, but yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, essentially. So yeah, oh, okay. I've got a little something on my cheek, but we move. So where to start with my story? So this is where I wanted to start. I didn't want to start way back when. It was just context. It was just like a little brief history moment, just a little sum it up kind of moment. And if you don't get a backstory from that, I don't blame you. Even I'm slightly confused of where I was and where I am. So hopefully, so clearly when I started a podcast, I was like 21. I was 2021. Now I'm 24. When I tell you, Kuti, sis has changed. The life has been lifing, y'all. Like, do you know the amount of lessons that I feel like I have now compared to little young Miss 21-year-old Tiny? Like, I really feel like at that time when I was doing that podcast, I really felt like I knew what I was talking about. And then I got into real life and turns out I was not entirely wrong, but I think I was coming from a textbook standpoint where I was talking about the most obvious solution, right? And it's safe to say when you start really engaging in life and living life, you start to realize, actually, I know and that's not the way things work. Like you can have like a textbook answer, you can have a podcast answer, and that's great, really, honestly and truly. That's awesome, good for you. But what's going to happen is that it might not work out the way you think it's going to work out. It's not going to, things are just not going to come together the way you think they are, essentially. I had a script, guys. I had prepared a script. I had done everything. And it just fell apart the minute I started recording because I was just so nervous. I felt like a child. I felt like a deer in headlights. At the same time, I do appreciate that experience because now it's like, I think it gave the yapper in me leeway to be like, you know what? Let me go back to basics and go back to who I am, as in who I was prior to trying to have some sort of like setup and whatnot. Like just speak from the depth of my heart and my soul and just rant, basically. Like that's why I'm here to rant. That's why we're here. That's why you and I are watching this together. Well, okay, I'm not what, you know what, you get it. You understand what I'm trying to say. So in the spirit of things not turning out how they wanted to be, I graduated. We love a graduate. I'm so happy because when I started podcasting, I was starting university, and now I'm done. I am not a student anymore. I'm now a student of life. Anyways, so I graduated, and I could tell from looking for like work placements for school that looking for employment is not as easy as I thought it was gonna be. But I just told myself, but girl, I can do this. Like, what if anybody is going to go straight from uni and be employed? It's gonna be me. And I went back to college for my final year, did the dissertation year. I cried. I had a great time. Almost lost my mental health there. I just was hanging on by a thread, but I did it, and I did enough to graduate, which is the most important thing. And then what ended up happening was I graduate, and then I wait. So I apply to all these openings, and to be honest, when I was applying, this is what was happening. I had the requirements, I met the requirements, I was basically that girl. Like, whenever I was writing my cover letters, it was just like always 100% giving myself to it all the time. And I did, apply to multiple places, even got called for interviews and what have you. And, when you start getting called for interviews, as soon as you start thinking, okay, that girl. And then what ended up happening was I don't get a call. So I do interviews. And they're like, we'll get back to you in the silence. Or I apply and there's silence. And it somehow affected me. I didn't know it was affecting me until like 2 days ago. So 2 days ago, I woke up and I don't know what happened, but I was hysterical. It's not even funny. Like, I was hysterical because I just started thinking, like, I bet my parents really think like I'm playing right now. Like, I really feel like I've disappointed myself. I feel like I'm disappointing everyone around me. I'm not doing a good job. Like, I'm playing, essentially. Like, I am wasting people's time, and I am not living up to my full potential. And I just started crying. I just bawled out, just held myself, and I started crying. It was an ugly cry. And I was like, a part of my brain was like, yo, you are freaking out. Are you mad? But like, I couldn't stop crying. And I just cried and I cried and I just really cried. And after a while, I was out of commission that entire day. I think I just woke up, did 1 or 2 stuff, and I was like, I'm done. Like, F this, I am done. Like, I'm exhausted. I'm not about to do this anymore. And that statement of, you may not know that you're stressed, but your body will keep count. Your body will always keep the score. Guys, as you can tell, my skin was actually getting better. The minute I submitted my dissertation, my skin was getting back to normal. I was glowing, things were working out, and then life happened. All of a sudden, I'm getting acne. Like, not even basic acne. Like, all the spots that I have now are from the acne that I had from the moment I graduated. Like, right after graduation until now, it's been acne encyclopedia since. And I was like, I am stressed. And then I went to bed at night, obviously. I went to bed, and then I realized when I woke up the following day, yesterday, that, my period came. So I was like, okay, that explains the hysterics. right? No? So now that the hysterics were out of the way, it was now that kind of situation where I was like, all right, so here is where I'm at. And I sat down with myself and I was like, right, you are actually a disappointment. And that's okay. Things did not turn out how you wanted them to be, and that's okay. And in that moment, I was like, this is not cute. And that's how I thought about the episode that I released, how calm I was. To be fair, when I made that video, I was actually low-key falling apart. That is actually my way of falling apart. Like, it's really cute and very demure. Like, I'm not prone to hysterics. I would say so myself. I'm not prone to hysterics. I'm not prone to crying. Like, I need to have a good reason why I'm crying. Like, they need to be like 5 good reasons. 'Cause once I cry, like, I cry in bulk. I don't cry for one thing. Like, I have to summon all my sadness and just cry for multiple things on like one day and just move on. And what happened on that day was I fell apart because I kept thinking, oh my God, I'm such a failure. Oh my God, the plan that I had for myself did not work out. Oh my God, where did the ambitious Tiny go? Because I don't think I have been her in a while. That's how we came up with the name And Not So Cute Podcast. That's how we got it. And I was like, when I was looking for podcast names, when I decided I'm coming back with a bang. When I was thinking of names, I couldn't find one. I even used AI to help me. That sucked. I came up with several names. I was like, Her Circle. It's going to be about sisterhood. It's going to be about friendship. And I'm going to call all my sisters and they're going to help me. And we're just going to talk about the beauty of being a woman. And then, but it just didn't resonate with me. Like, it wasn't doing anything for me. It was like, okay, it's cute on paper. Like, the concept of that is cute on paper, but it's not necessarily something that I want to get into. So I wasn't really sure about that. And then I got to a point where I was like, okay, how about we call it, what other names did I come up with? I don't remember anymore because they probably just didn't do anything for me. And then I got to Charted Podcast. I did not want to call it Uncharted because I knew somebody else has that name. And it's just so common, say Uncharted Waters. Like, it was so common. And then I was like, but Chatted. Like, listening, you don't listen to a podcast and to say, okay, wait. Actually, I do. Podcast for entertainment. I listen to podcasts because I like how they sound, or they're talking about something that I enjoy or whatever. But sometimes it's like when you're listening, right? You are listening to another person's experience, you're listening to their story, you're listening to their history, their legacy, whatever it is, right? And you learn something from that, right? So you can't say I'm treading uncharted waters when literally a map is there but from other people. Like, why are you not considering the other people in your life who are giving you tidbits for free? All the videos you watch on YouTube, how to cook, how to clean, how to be the best person you want to be, how to glow up, how to do your hair, how to do your makeup, all those things. It's just a chat basically that has been left by other people who either have their own charts or they had to experiment by themselves. They had a blueprint from somewhere else. Like, nothing that you're doing right now is like what you started. So that kind of piqued my interest. But I was desperate to get something out, and I was like, it's just, it didn't hit the spot. But I was like, I'm desperate. I need something out there. I need to get back to her. And then I released the episode, but I never released the audio versions like on Spotify, etc. Like, I didn't, because I was like, I'm not feeling it. I don't know why, but I'm not. And then 2 days ago, I cry, and I'm like, this is not cute. And that's when a not so cute podcast kind of came from. So yeah, that really excited me because I realized my life is not cute at all. There's no aesthetic anything, like, at all. There's no aesthetic. You can hear the plane overhead. Like, there's nothing cute about this. Oh, except for me. But, there's no face that is beat to the gods. There's no makeup. There's no fancy clothes. There's no fancy stuff. I'm on my bed. Like, I'm on my bed. I've got continental pillows and 2 pillows with different pillowcases because Lord knows where I put the other ones. It's like having socks that are separate and you can't find the other 2. That's exactly what happens with me in pillowcases. I am recording this in my room. This is not like a great studio thingy. Like, this is not what I envisioned initially for this podcast. I had a whole vision. But I was like, that's not every day though. Like, that's awesome. And it's aesthetic and we love it. But that's not real. Because this is where I'm at currently, and that's okay, right? It's not cute, but it's real. So yeah, that's essentially the vibe. And if I had to have a pilot episode, and what I would want to say in that pilot episode is that not everything is cute. The thoughts in our heads, not every single thought is cute. Not every single thing you want to do. Basically, the cute parts are very few and in between. Like, the cute parts are very rare to find. They are stressful to find. The cute parts are on your graduation day. The not so cute parts, when you're crying because your dissertation has literally been a nightmare. It's cute to get a job. The journey to get that job, not so cute. It's cute to have a podcast. It's not cute, the process of living in order for you to have something to say on the podcast. It's not cute. So what I would say to the 21-year-old me who started a podcast, I would say to her, kudos to you, because you have done something so big, so awesome, something I am envious of up till now, because I don't think I can ever get back to where I was. But I genuinely think that the 21-year-old me does not hold a candle to me right now, because that 3-year gap was full of newness. It was full of fallouts. It was full of falling and having to get back up, falling again, getting back up. And I did it. And that's awesome. And I get to share that here on this little corner of the internet. And I know it's a little morbid. I feel like for a first episode, my intention was to spread light and positivity. But in spreading that light and positivity, I think it's very important to be honest. And my honesty is that today is not really sunny. Even outside it's not sunny. And that's okay. And I really hope for anybody listening to this that bear with me. Bear with yourself. Be kind to yourself. If you need to cry, do it. We all need permission sometimes, especially the girlies, man. I hope this corner is filled with the girlies. I love girlies. I love content that is made. Actually, let's get to it. Sabrina Carpenter. When I tell you there's a celebrity for women, Sabrina Carpenter. I love her so much. And I'm giving you all permission to do whatever it is you want to do. And not start looking for perfection when you haven't even started, man. Don't do that. Okay? It's a lot, man. I'm recording this on my phone, which I have to say, awesome stuff. I'm not hating on the quality, you know what I'm saying? I have my little mirror right behind. So I feel like you can tell, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can tell that I keep looking behind the camera. It's because my mirror is behind there. So I like the bigger thingy. I'm recording on my laptop. I think I've gotten that excitement back for recording and getting podcasts ready. I can feel the excitement. It's there. It's there. Hopefully, y'all, I keep making promises. I should just stop. I should just do my work quietly and just focus on what I need to do and focus on that and do that. Hopefully, not fall apart into pieces. Hopefully, share positive things. I hope to be like a little ray of sunlight to anyone listening. And I also hope to be like a breath of fresh air. I cannot promise so clearly, because the intention is to do something and start it and do what you need to do and get your footing, and because I haven't done this in a while, so I'm gonna have to get my footing again, get to creating again. But I have the bug. Like I can feel it. I've got the bug for creating. I've got content. I might record another episode right after this, and I'm not even gonna bother with changing clothes. Like whatever. When I was doing audio podcasts, I would record 3 episodes, and I would never cancel out something because it didn't sound good. And I really like that about myself. So I'm gonna keep that habit, definitely. But this is video. Video is tricky. But if you're watching this and you're thinking, she rambles on and on, man. Yeah, that is the truth. I can't sit properly. I cannot just sit like this the whole time. I just have a tendency of just lifting my foot and touching my foot. I do have a foot fetish with my own feet. I love them. They're not pretty. They're not OnlyFans material, but they're my feet and they work. They do their job very well. I like running and walking. Great workout thingies. And yeah, I yap. I yap. Jesus, I love it. Oh, I feel good. It feels good to yap. So yeah, I am going to go now because I have nothing else to say. You can log out. That's okay. I'll see you on the next one. I will try my best to do my best at all times. That's all I can do. And a reminder, man, for this week, you're not so cute. Your life is not so cute, and that's okay. And the most important thing is the process. The ugly process is the most important thing. You can never get to cute. You can never get to peace. You can never get to perfection. You can never get to good without the ugly. Good does not exist without ugly. Duality is the reason why we are alive. The only reason I'm alive is because I'm not dead. So there's no life without death. There's no light without darkness. Like the only reason why you're like, I can see the light is because there's been darkness. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. You can tell because you've been in the dark for a little while. You can tell the light is here. So I believe that even for this podcast, the same is going to happen. Right now, I'm in the dark, and I am a big girl. I'm big enough to admit I'm in the dark. I am in the deep end. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm doing it yet. Oh, okay. I have an inkling why I'm doing it, but I'm not sure. Am I committed? Am I not? I am in the dark, and I'm in the dark where there's no light. I'm literally just feeling my way through everything, and hopefully I see a light at the end of the tunnel, y'all, and you're gonna be there to see it, and you're gonna be there to experience it with me, hopefully. So yeah, I say this because I do plan on changing the setup, guys. Guys, do not own a Pinterest, guys. You know, like I have Pinterest, I have my little ideas, I have a setup that I'm planning. I want a bigger mic, like I want those big computer mics, like I want them, and I want it for us. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really excited. I'm so excited. Okay, I have to film the second episode, so I gotta go. Bye. I'll see y'all next week. Be sure to subscribe, comment, like, share, view. What else? Be sure to rate this on Spotify or wherever else you get your podcasts. Be sure to leave a like and a comment on YouTube. And I will see y'all next week. Bye.